Today, we're tackling something huge: personal efficiency. Specifically, how you can automate success using simple daily habits.
Exactly. And you gave us some really interesting research. It wasn't just a list of 10 habits, which, you see everywhere. It actually dug into the science, how these things stick.
Right. So our mission today isn't just reading off a checklist. It's about understanding the mechanism behind it all, the engineering, if you will. So you can finally tackle that physical clutter, sure, but also that mental stress, that feeling of being totally overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's key. Because the sources are really clear. Success isn't luck, and it's definitely not just about willpower. That runs out. Real long-term success. It comes from automating tiny positive actions. It's why New Year's resolutions often, fizzle out.
And why those checklists get forgotten. If it's not automatic, it takes mental energy.
And we only have so much of that.
Exactly. If the answer was just be more organized, we all be living in perfect houses with zero stress. Okay, so let's get into this core mechanism. The sources mention Charles Duhigg's work quite a bit. They say for an action to become truly automatic, like a successful habit, you need 3 specific things, 3 components.
That's the famous habit loop. You've got the cue, the routine, and the reward. And it's funny, the actual action gets all the attention, but the cue, and maybe especially the reward, they're mandatory. They build the whole thing.
Okay, let's break that down. The sources use brushing teeth as a really common example. How does that fit the loop?
Okay, so first, the cue. That's just the trigger. It could be the time of day, like right after waking up, or maybe a physical thing like that, gritty feeling in your mouth, or tasting garlic from dinner. It's the signal saying, okay, brain, start the sequence.
Got it, the signal.
Then comes the routine. That's the action itself, the brushing. But here's the thing, and this is really critical. The routine itself is almost like a placeholder. It won't become permanent unless it leads to that payoff.
The payoff. The reward, that's the non-negotiable part you're saying. I think people really underestimate this. They think the reward is just, being virtuous or something.
Right, but it has to be more immediate, more satisfying for the brain to actually log it and say, hey, let's do that again. Okay. So follow the loop. Cue, my mouth feels kind of gross. Routine, I brush my teeth. Reward, clean mouth, fresh breath. I feel better. Maybe I even think about avoiding a big dental bill down the line. If you took away that clean feeling, if toothpaste tasted awful and left residue, that brushing habit would probably disappear pretty fast. The reward cements it. It's almost Pavlovian.
Okay, and this is where it gets really practical for everyone listening. Why do these habits matter so much? It's actually neurological, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Once a habit is established, it shifts. It gets processed in a different, older part of the brain, the basal ganglia, basically, which means you literally stop having to think about it.
You don't use up that precious decision-making energy.
Exactly. The frontal lobe, that's for executive functions. Willpower, tough decisions, it gets drained easily. Every little choice. Should I tackle this email now? Where did I put that cup? Should I check my bank balance? It all uses up that mental fuel.
So the more you automate with good habits, using those cues and rewards,
the more energy you have left for the big stuff. Creative thinking, solving real problems, handling unexpected crises.
Mental bandwidth really is like currency. Okay, so if we agree willpower is fragile and automation is the key,
then we need to figure out which habits to build. We need to consciously engineer them.
Let's put the theory into practice then. Where do we start? Maybe with the external stuff. The mess, the money chaos, the schedule.
Sounds good. Let's tackle that external overwhelm first.
Okay, habit 1, keep things tidy. Now this usually sounds like a massive chore, like a whole weekend project. But the sources suggest something different.
Yeah, the focus isn't on achieving showroom perfection. It's about stopping the mess from snowballing. Because that's what causes the stress, the arguments, the feeling of being out of control. And the actionable tip is super specific. Use a timer. Just 15 minutes before bed.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Right before bed when you're already tired. That sounds like work, not a reward. Where's the positive feedback loop?
But that's where you engineer it. The cue is the timer buzzing, or maybe just finishing dinner, settling down. The routine is that quick 15-minute sweep, pick up clutter, straighten pillows, wipe the counter. But the reward isn't really the clean counter itself. It's the immediate feeling of, okay, done. The guilt vanishes. And more importantly, you get better sleep because you're not mentally scanning the messy room.
So you trade 15 minutes of light activity for hours of better rest. That makes sense.
And that connects to the other micro win they mention. Make your bed right when you get up. Tiny action, but it sets a tone of order for the day. First win achieved.
Okay, that's tangible. What's next? Habit 2 sounds like a big one. Mindfully manage your money.
It is a big one because spending can easily become this automatic, unconscious habit. Like you see an ad, you click, you buy. It's a mess waiting to happen, driven by marketing cues. Successful people, the sources say, are mindful managers. They pay attention.
So what's the small automatable routine here?
It's incredibly small. Just 5 minutes a day. Take 5 minutes to look at your bank account or your budget app. This isn't about complex accounting. It's just about awareness, spotting issues fast before they blow up.
Yep, okay, the habit loop again. Cue might be a daily phone reminder. Routine is the 5-minute check. But the reward, what if we see a bill I forgot about? Doesn't feel very rewarding immediately.
But the reward is twofold, and it's quite emotional. First, it's the removal of anxiety. Even if you see a problem, knowing about it is less stressful for the brain than vague, constant worry about the unknown. Certainty, even if imperfect, is calming.
It frees up that mental space again.
Exactly. And second, it creates a feeling of control, of having a safety net. Another tip was to physically stash your loose change every day, that little pile growing. That's a small, tangible, immediate reward that reinforces I'm managing this.
I like that. Okay, moving on. Habit 5, plan your days. This links right back to saving that mental energy, doesn't it?
Directly. Successful people don't just drift, they use their calendar like a map to get where they want to go. And the key tip is schedule everything, not just work meetings. Schedule your exercise, schedule time for cooking, for tidying up, and crucially, schedule leisure time too.
Because if it's not scheduled,
The brain treats it as optional.
yeah,
And then guilt creeps in when you try to relax, or you just never get around to the important, non-urgent stuff.
So what's a specific habit to build around planning?
The best one, according to the sources, is to review your calendar and write your to-do list for the next day right before you go to bed.
Why then?
You're basically giving your subconscious instructions. While you sleep, your mind can start processing potential conflicts or figuring out how to approach tasks. The reward is waking up feeling clearer, maybe even having subconsciously solved a problem. You've outsourced some mental work.
That's fascinating. And it leads nicely into 2 other habits that seem really linked. Habit 7, get up early, and habit 8, prepare for success the night before. You almost can't do one without the other working well, can you?
They're definitely a power couple. Getting up early on its own can feel punishing if you wake up and immediately face chaos, lunches aren't made, you can't find your keys.
Right, so the reward for getting up early isn't just being productive.
No, the primary reward, especially if you rise before the rest of the household, is peace. That quiet time before demands start flooding in, that's the gold.
And if you're trying to become an early riser, the advice is incremental steps, right?
Absolutely. Don't jump from 8 a.m. to 6 a.m. Set your alarm for the same time every day, weekends included if possible, to regulate your body clock. Then maybe nudge it back 10 minutes earlier each week, less of a shock to the system.
Which only works if you've done habit 8, the night before prep.
Precisely. That prep saves you maybe 20, 30 minutes of pure chaos in the morning rush. The routine is simple. Lay out your clothes, pack lunches, or prep breakfast components. Make sure keys, wallet, bag are all in their designated spot.
And the reward.
It's avoiding that awful friction, that frantic searching for keys when you're already late, that stress spike. The reward is a smooth, low-stress start to the day. You've headed off problems before they even begin.
Okay, so we've covered habits for structure and efficiency. Now let's shift focus maybe to the inner stuff, well-being, connection.
Yes, let's move to the habits that cultivate more inner peace and strengthen those vital relationships. Going beyond just getting things done to feeling genuinely good.
First up is habit 3. Choose gratitude. This can sound a bit fluffy, but the sources were unanimous. Successful people actively look for the positives.
It's not fluffy. It's a powerful mental reset. It helps you refocus when things inevitably go wrong. The actionable tip is simple. List 3 things daily that you're grateful for. And they don't need to be huge things. A warm bed, a good cup of coffee, hearing a friend's voice, simple stuff.
And the real power is using it actively, like when you're feeling negative.
Exactly. So let's say you're really frustrated with someone, your partner, your kid. The cue is that feeling of anger or irritation. The routine is consciously pausing and recalling your gratitude list, maybe things specific to that person or just general positives in your life. And the reward, it's an immediate lowering of your emotional temperature. It creates space, stops you from overreacting. You're literally engineering a mental shift. It's core to emotional intelligence.
That makes sense. Okay, habit 4, stay hydrated. Seems basic, but maybe overlooked.
Hugely overlooked. Dehydration is sneaky. It makes you feel hungry when you're not, tired, cranky. It leads to poor choices, like grabbing a sugary drink for a quick fix.
The sources suggested a perspective shift here. Don't see drinking water as a chore. Think of having access to clean water as a privilege, as essential fuel.
Right, fuel for your body and your brain. The actionable tip is straightforward. Glass of water first thing in the morning before coffee, and then carry a water bottle. Make the bottle itself a visual cue.
So the cue is seeing the bottle, the routine is taking a sip.
And the reward is more energy, clearer thinking, better skin, better digestion. It's a cascade of small, positive physical feedback loops.
Okay, habit 6 feels really important, especially today. Put your family first. This seems to push back against that me-first success culture.
It does. The sources emphasize this isn't about sacrificing ambition, but about securing your foundation. Strong family relationships provide immense stability and reduce chronic stress. The habit here is building in a deliberate pause before making big commitments, time, money, energy.
So it's a habitual check-in.
Exactly. The cue is the decision point. A new project offer, a major purchase, a weekend plan. The routine is asking yourself, consciously, will this support my family's well-being and strengthen our connection? The reward is deep relational security. When your home base is strong, it frees up enormous mental energy, paradoxically making you more effective elsewhere. It means prioritizing date nights, one-on-one time, actually saying I love you meaningfully and regularly.
Okay, that's profound. Let's move to habit 9. Get moving. Good news here, apparently. Doesn't have to be marathon running.
No, thank goodness. The sources are clear. You get surprising benefits from just 10-20 minutes of movement, even broken up throughout the day.
So integrating it into what you already do.
Yep. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park a bit farther from the store entrance. Walk over to talk to a colleague instead of emailing. Use a fitness tracker. Set it to buzz hourly as a cue.
And the routine could be just 60 seconds of stretching or walking.
Exactly. The reward is that quick little mood boost from endorphins, that moment of mental clarity. Small bursts count.
Okay, finally, habit 10. Rest. This feels counterintuitive, maybe. Scheduling rest. Shouldn't it just happen?
That's the problem. It often doesn't just happen, or if it does, we feel guilty about it. Truly successful and happy people, the sources say, intentionally nurture themselves. They take breaks without guilt.
So rest itself needs to become a habit, not a luxury.
Precisely. We need to engineer the routine of resting. And rest here doesn't mean you need a spa day every week. It means finding small moments to mindfully recharge.
How does that look in practice?
Okay, the cue might be finishing a demanding task, or maybe just the clock hitting mid-afternoon. The routine is deliberately savoring something small. A cup of coffee, notice the smell, the warmth. A piece of dark chocolate. 5 minutes listening to music without multitasking. A quick chat with a friend, fully present.
And the reward isn't just the pleasure of the coffee or the chat.
It's the renewal of focus. It's proving to yourself that you value rest, which removes the guilt. You've earned that micro break, and it refills your tank for whatever's next.
Okay, wow. That's 10 powerful habits. Let's just quickly list them again. Keep tidy, manage money, choose gratitude, stay hydrated, plan days, put family first, get up early, prepare the night before, get moving, and finally, rest.
And the big takeaway, the thread connecting all of this from our deep dive today, is about shifting your reliance, moving away from willpower, which always fades,
towards automatic success, which is sustainable because it doesn't drain you.
Exactly. When you build these habits using that cue, routine, reward loop, you're setting yourself up to win without constantly fighting yourself.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to consider. We learn these habits, once automated, run on the different part of the brain. They don't deplete that core mental energy. So think about the flip side. The cost of not having these habits. What specific unnecessary mental drain are you dealing with right now?
Is it the constant low-level stress about money? The time wasted looking for things? The guilt about not exercising or resting?
That ongoing mental and emotional drag. That is the real price you pay for not turning one of these simple actions into an automatic successful habit. Something to think about.